Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about renting a motorcycle here in Thailand. So the first thing we're going to go over is license. So you can come over here and rent a motorcycle. They will not ask to see your motorcycle driver's license. So just know that. However, it is a law here that you have a motorcycle driver's license. The only ones that they will accept is either a Thai motorcycle driver's license or an international driver's license for a motorcycle. So that being said, they will still rent you the motorcycle. However, if you get pulled over by the police at one of their checkpoints, and there are checkpoints all over the place in the touristy areas of Thailand, they know good and well that most foreigners do not have the correct license. Therefore, you're easy prey for them to fine you for not having a driver's license. Now, granted, the fines aren't that expensive. It's anywhere between 500 baht to 2,000 baht. But since we're talking about renting motorcycles, I just want you to know what's legal and what's not. The next thing we're going to go over is a helmet necessary here in Thailand. You're going to see a whole bunch of people riding around in Thailand without a helmet. However, it is a law that you wear a helmet here. Now, if you're coming here to visit and you stick out like a sore thumb because it's obvious you're not Thai, who do you think the police are going to pull over when you're driving by in a motorcycle without a helmet on and they can clearly see you are not Thai? They are going to pull you over and fine you for not having a helmet. Now, going back to what we just talked about, they may fine you for not having a helmet and not having a driver's license. So just know that helmets here are required, and watch out for the ones you get from most rental companies. Not only do a lot of them stink and they're nasty, but they're usually of such poor quality that if you were ever in a crash, it's not going to help you. And you can go to a lot of stores and the helmet prices are not that much. So you can actually buy a helmet if you're going to be here for a couple of weeks for relatively inexpensive and be a lot safer than trying to use the one you get from the rental company. So when you're ready to pick up your motorcycle, make sure to video the motorcycle in the condition that it's in. If you see any dents or scratches, anything that doesn't look completely perfect, make sure you do a video on it while you are there before you actually pay for the thing, so you can show you took the video at the time you were picking up the motorcycle. Therefore, if you brought it back and they tried to say there was a new scratch or ding and they're going to charge you for it, you could use that as proof that that scratch or dent was there ahead of time. And if you did buy yourself a helmet and you don't need to use the one that they're going to try to give you, make sure they document in the contract that you did not take the helmet. Therefore, when you go to return the motorcycle and it's a different person, not the one you dealt with, they won't be expecting a helmet because they're going to think you lost it. So we touched on it already just a little bit, but just know that there are checkpoints here in Thailand. So in other words, you're going to be driving your motorcycle around and there is a police checkpoint where they're going to check for everything. It's going to happen. Mostly I see these things in touristy areas, so just be aware that it is here. So if you're away from the touristy areas, you're less likely to run into one. But most of the time when you're a tourist here visiting or whatever, you're going to be in the tourist areas. So just know it's a real thing. Now, when it comes to leaving a deposit, sometimes the rental company will ask for your passport as the deposit on the motorcycle. Do not do this. In Thailand, you are required to have your passport on you at all times. So then imagine getting pulled over, you don't have a motorcycle helmet on, you don't have a license, and you don't have a passport. It's not going to be a good day for you. And the reason you have to have your passport on you is that the police are going to check to make sure you have a valid visa to be in the country, because there are a lot of people who are in the country on what we call overstay. They don't have a visa, it's expired at this point, so they check it. So you don't want to give your passport as a deposit. Don't be surprised if they ask for a 2,000 to 10,000 baht deposit for the motorcycle. And don't worry too much about that. I've rented several motorcycles here in Thailand without any issue of getting that deposit back. Yes, I was holding my breath thinking, oh, they're going to find something, and not giving me that deposit back. But that has not been the case. But before you do find a rental place, make sure you look at their online reviews as well. Accidents are common here in Thailand, especially for foreigners who are not used to driving in Asia or specifically Thailand. The road laws are different, and Americans, I'm talking to you right now, they're driving on the other side of the road. So everything's a little bit new and different. This being said, make sure you have something you may not know about called travel insurance. Basically, it's an insurance policy for you while you're over here. Now, there is a link down in the description for a couple of places that you could click and check to see what the rate would be. And yes, you're only paying for the travel insurance for the amount of time you're in the country. So if you're coming to visit for 2 weeks, you can get 2 weeks worth of medical coverage, and you can instantly see how much it would be and what it would cover. But just remember this, if you're gonna be riding a motorcycle and you're getting an insurance policy, everything needs to be legal. That means you better have the right motorcycle license and everything else, so the insurance companies won't deny your claim. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is what CC, what type of engine, how much power of a motorcycle should you get. If you're going to ride on just flat land and you're just one person and it's all that's going to be on the motorcycle, just about all of them will work. 125 cc, 110, any of those will be perfectly fine. However, if you do plan on going up mountains or having 2 people on the motorcycle, I would say at the minimum you need 150 cc or more. I could tell you by having a 150 cc motorcycle at one time with 2 people on there going up mountains, I'm doing about 34 kilometers per hour max. So just keep that in mind. If you're wanting to go faster than that, I would get something a little bit more powerful than a 150. So if you're in the city or anywhere else in Thailand and you need to park your motorcycle and you don't know where you should park and where you should not park, because there are certain areas you can and you cannot, my advice to you would just be do what the Thais do. If the Thais are parking in a certain area, more than likely you're going to be safe parking in those areas. If I can give you a blanket thing to say to avoid, and that would be any of the curbs that have the red and white. There are signs as well, but just do what the Thais do and you should be fine. And when you will go to get gasoline, what kind of gas do you put in the motorcycle? Well, there's different calibers. I would say 91, let's just make it easy, 91. Also, you may want to find out before you rent the motorcycle how you fill it up, where the gas tank is, all those good things. So just keep that in mind. And when you do get to the gas station, you basically you can just point to 95 or 91, whatever it is you're wanting to put into the motorcycle, and you can go something like this and they will know you want to fill up the tank all the way. If you want just to put in a certain baht amount, just hold up 100 baht or 150 or whatever it is you want to fill the tank with. Well, I hope all this was helpful for you. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And until next time, I'm going to end this by saying thank you in Thai, which is Kap Kun Kap.